Good morning, everyone. I thought I'd bring this message to you that the Lord kind of highlighted to me in the last week or so. And since we are already in that season, in light of the fact that yesterday was Thanksgiving in the U.S., I thought we should talk about Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving and praise to the Lord can open up a wellspring of more blessings, more favor, more grace from the Lord. And he tells us this in different ways in many places in the Bible, but the one that he highlighted to me was Philippians in chapter, let me find it here, chapter 4. I'll get to it. I should have had it open. Chapter 4, verse 6. And it says, "Be anxious for nothing, but in everything by prayer and supplication with thanksgiving, let your requests be made known to the Lord." And later on in that chapter, Paul talks about how he is content in whatever state he's in, whether it's one of plentifulness or one of lack, because he's always in thankfulness to the Lord. Because it says in that verse, be anxious for nothing, but in everything. In other translations, it says in all things with prayer and supplication, give and with thanksgiving. So with thanksgiving can open up a wealth of grace and blessings from Lord. I've found that in my life. I have found that when I go to the Lord in gratitude, even when things aren't working out for me, instead of going to him and begging for his help, because he gave us everything at the cross. Whatever you're going through in life, wherever you're at in life, was taken care of at the cross. And when we come to him with thanksgiving in all circumstances, then we're showing him how much we appreciate what he has done for us. Even in Malachi 3:10, it tells us to test him. He tells us, test me and see if I don't pour out blessings that are so plentiful you won't have room enough to receive it. Now in Malachi, he's talking about the tithes, but aren't our tithes and offerings another form of praise, of thanksgiving, of showing God that we understand that everything we have, every good thing that comes into our lives are from him. And that if we are grateful, even during our difficult moments, it's just going to create more blessings. So even when it's difficult to make an offering or a tithe, it says that, that is giving out of their heart and not out of duty. I'll have to look that one up for you. But these are important points. Also in Proverbs 18, he tells us that life and death is in the power of the tongue, and those who love it will eat its fruit. Well, that just simply means that we will reap the consequences of our words. Words have power. If we talk of and think on only those things that are difficult, that are challenging us, then we draw more of that into our lives. That's why he told us there is death and life in the power of the tongue. It's what we talk about that will come about. So what we concentrate on, we will get more of. So let's concentrate on thanksgiving and praise. What better way to benefit from everything the Lord has for us? So yesterday for the U.S. and back in October for Canadians, we set aside a special day for Thanksgiving. Well, you know what? I like to do Thanksgiving every day of the year. And throughout the day, I'll even say, thank you, Lord, for some of the simplest things. But certainly when there's big, miraculous things that happen in my life, and things like that happen in my life all the time, because I live in expectation of it and I live in Thanksgiving. So if you haven't been a person who is prone to giving thanks for everything from the little things like the meal you're having to some miraculous thing that the Lord has brought you through. If you aren't a person who's been that way, I encourage you to try it, to just try it. And at first, maybe you won't really feel it, but you know what? God doesn't look to our feelings. He looks to our actions. And have you ever noticed that when someone that you maybe aren't crazy about having in your life, but they just love you to death, and they love you, love you, love you at every turn, they're always showing their care and love, don't you find yourself that you just start falling in love with that person? Because how can you not love someone who loves you? And it tells us that we love him because he first loved us. He loves you. Give thanks and praise for that love. And that love will abound toward you. And as it says in Malachi, he'll pour out blessings that you won't have room or capacity enough to receive. So in this season of Thanksgiving, and we're coming to Christmas, the reason for our Thanksgiving, the greatest gift God gave us, his son. Start practicing Thanksgiving. Start practicing praise. And just set aside a little time each day to spend with him. Even if it's just a few minutes, start your day in fellowship with Jesus, telling him of all the things you're thankful for. He knows what he's done for you. He wants to know if you know. So have a blessed week, and we'll catch you the next time around.